Hey everybody, welcome to Ask the Anabolic Doc, starring Dr. Thomas O'Connor, brought to you by his websites, anabolicdoc.com and metabolicdoc.com, both of which you can get his book, America on Steroids, A Time to Heal. That is also available on Amazon.com. Amazon's this new thing, guys. You got to check it out. You can buy all kinds of stuff there. They're going to be big, trust me. So, how are you today, Doctor?
What's up, Ron? Excellent, buddy. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Yeah, nice brisk fall day here in Boston, Massachusetts. Yeah,
Yep, beautiful sun out there. Beautiful, beautiful, sunny and brisk.
So let's get right to it. We have a very long question for the first question. So do you have a snack? Because it's going to take a while for me to read. So hang on.
I'm ready.
This is Ironman 56, and he asks, I'm a 56-year-old man. I've been training with weights since I was in junior high. I competed locally in the late 70s and early 80s. I was never much of a substance user. I did do a few cycles in my early 20s with Anavar and Deca for 8 to 10 weeks, and the original Dianabol, Lucky, for 6 weeks while in college. So I'm clean for over 30 years. I'm now diagnosed with hypothyroidism. The endocrinologist has me on 75 micrograms of levothyroxine per day. All my blood work is very good. The endo is not a very good communicator. Last blood work was testosterone serum, 760 nanograms per deciliter. Testosterone free, 21.89 nanograms per deciliter. Percent free testosterone, 2.88%. Luteinizing hormone, 11.2 MIU per mil. Boy, this goes on and on. FSH, 22.5 MIU per mil. Prolactin, 22.9 nanograms per deciliter. Thyroid levels, T4, 1.26 nanograms per deciliter. And TSH, 3.33 UIU per milliliter. All my other blood work from annual physical is very good. HDL 68, LDL 77, total 167, VLDL 22, calcium serum 9.9. The endo likes these numbers and has me staying with the same medication. The problem is I have no sex drive. The endo shrugs it off. I guess it doesn't bother him as long as the thyroid numbers are good. Do you see anything in the numbers that may have an effect on erections and sex drive? I'm concerned with the elevated FSH, LH, and prolactin. I work out 6 days a week, look great, feel great, other than the sex drive issue. I do use Viagra. I really enjoy the show. When you and Ron talk, I listen and learn so much. Thank you for your time considering my question. P.S. He is not on TRT. 56 years old. God love you, dude.
Yeah, 56-year-old guy, did some gear back in the day, did some real gear. He obviously doesn't have, on paper, what looks like anabolic steroid-induced hypogonadism, right?
Yeah, the numbers look, for 56-year-old guys, those are great numbers, right?
So this is complicated stuff, and again, it all comes down to there's clinical features, like how do you feel, what are your signs and symptoms, then there's the labs on paper, and then I know there's a question later on, we can kind of tie this in together, where we're moving away from just strict labs, you know, but it's hard to say, Ron, that a guy, I have to get into some technical stuff here because I am the doc and I'm a technical guy, obviously.
Sure.
It's hard to say to any man with a total testosterone of 760 nanograms per deciliter is going to have any kind of problems. But it does come, the guys out there in the show, man, love you guys so much. Everyone's chiming in with me and really giving us props, and we're in Generation Iron. You guys probably see that. We're blowing up on that, and things are going so great. But I'm a technical doc, so when you look for the real testosterone panel, it's a total and a free. There's a biologic, and then it goes into looking at, Ron, is it nanograms per deciliter? Is it picograms per milliliter? I'm not kidding. So there's different ranges depending on, in America there's 2, and in Europe picks 1 or 2. So this man has normal levels, and I actually was kind of questioning his total testosterone. That's nanograms per deciliter.
Yeah.
The other one is either in nanograms per deciliter, but it's also in picograms. It's in picograms per milliliter too. And you got to kind of get your head around: is it a milliliter, a deciliter? You got to work with decimals, but sometimes it's an apple to an orange. So these ranges are frankly normal. There's one thing he's missing here, though, is sex hormone binding globulin. And I did have a guy this week that came in, and he has. It's a weird history. He actually, I'll probably present the case. He has a seminal vesicle, which is kind of an obstruction in his genitals and around his testicle for the tract for the semen, and because of that, for years and years and years, it looks like there's some issue with his testicle related to his brain in that feedback loop, and something called inhibin, which is very complicated here with the late.
We're frozen. Doctor, I hope you unfreeze very soon.
Cells and so.
Oh, there we go.
You got to be so careful. You got to look at total and versus free. And most men, in the end, you'll see that there will be a disparity, usually in both. But this guy looks normal. But I don't know a sex hormone binding globulin, and I don't know if it's going to be valuable, because usually when you have a high sex hormone binding globulin, this is all bro science for you bro science guys. Sex hormone binding globulin is very high. It's going to, therefore, you're going to see a normal or high testosterone total. It's all bound up. Yep. And then you're going to see an abnormality in low in the free. And then the free testosterone is that small fraction that gets into the brain.
Yeah.
So he looks normal on paper. The thyroid looks normal. I could talk for an hour about rechecking a full thyroid panel with reverse T3. Again, this is what I do. That's why you guys join. Guys pay me money. They come to see me. It's not a joke. So I have to go over this stuff, and I repeat. If we don't like, sometimes you repeat it. But so in the end, the guy has an FSH and LH and a prolactin level. Okay. His pituitary gland appears like it's unhappy with his testicular endogenous level. So therefore, this is all great bro science. It's the hypothalamus pituitary gonad axis. You could talk about this for days. It's awesome stuff. But in the end of the day, it's like are you treating a lab number, or do you treat a guy, maybe give him some testosterone? Look, technically, we got to have low testosterone.
Right.
But you repeat the test, or the test needs to be repeated. And the Endocrine Society says that. You know, it doesn't make sense. But there's something wrong with this pituitary gland. Typically, when you see something like this, where you have secondary hypogonadotropic hypogonadism, try to say that 10 times, 3 times. How about twice fast?
No, thanks.
His brain is, it's like the thyroids when you diagnose it. Same thing, anterior pituitary. It runs everything below it, the thyroid, the adrenals, and the balls. If your balls are down, the brain goes up to catch it. It doesn't work anymore. That's the model that we look at. In this picture, it looks like his gonadotropic levels, the FSH and LH, are elevated, so you would suspect that he'd have low T.
Yeah.
But again, he doesn't. But I would, sir, great time. Repeat the test. Make sure watch my stuff. I just put out a video on what labs to do. Make sure it's a liquid chromatography, mass spectroscopy, run on a dilution method. I'm not underwriting and supporting any companies. You could do it anywhere in the world. Make sure it's legitimate, and you may get some different numbers. And then I treat men on clinical grounds as well, which means I listen to the story, I look at labs, and then I treat men ethically depending on what we think we should do. I mean, you're a 56-year-old guy, you can have normal testosterone. Not every anti-aging place is. Not everyone is lowering T. I mean, not to mention the guy's done some gear back in the day. It doesn't affect and blow everyone's balls off.
Yeah.
So what else, Ron? I mean, prolactin, we know. I always think of Deca Dick and prolactin, right? Tren, and I know Tren Dick isn't really common. Everyone has great sex on Tren. That's bullshit. Sooner or later, guys on Tren crash so freaking bad. Don't tell me, I'm the anabolic doc. Everyone said Tren Dick. Tren Dick is the best dick. Tren, great dick. I do it every day. I'm overloaded now. I have a waiting list of, I don't know, weeks to see me, because it's like I just hear this stuff. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I do agree that Tren is going to be more sexually stimulating than Decadrobolin by itself.
Sure. But eventually it does lead to a similar situation with performance problems, doesn't it?
Ron, every bear is different. Every animal, every guy is a different guy. Young guys, young guys are fucking freight trains.
True.
They can do anything, and they just laugh at it. And then it's when you do it for years and years and years. But there are some young guys that I've heard young guys come in and say they take one Anavar tablet, or a week or a month, and they're just like train wrecks. You know, every guy's there's no question the top pro bodybuilders, and obviously I'm quoted in Generation Iron for saying everyone's on steroids, which game on, because they are. I'm not just no one's going to argue me. It's like, so let's see if I have contracts on my life next month.
How dare you?
You know,
Okay.
all the drama. I love. I gotta fill the drama guys up. So it's like, I mean, you're a trend. You do steroids long enough, your sex drive is going to be affected.
Yeah.
But so back to prolactin. We let a launch off. I always got to come home, right? My main complaint, Doc, you launch off the Mobius. Just please come home. So prolactin, Ron, that's like that I don't know. I'm not. This is Bill Llewellyn question. I'm a real doctor now. I mean, Norn-19 drugs and prolactin. We could use Doxanex and we could use these medicines, you know, to work on prolactin. It seems like he's got so his prolactin levels are elevated. So forget your testosterone. You should work up your prolactin.
And how do you do that?
You know, so it's a good question. I repeat the labs. You can get better studies and more accurate studies of prolactin. Here's for the bro science guys. You can get estrogen. Let's look at the estrogen stuff. You can get a total and a liquid chromatography. You can get an estradiol level. In the end, you could the thyroid. You could take a medical history. What other medicines is he on? And then in the end, you could go to another endocrinologist, maybe a neuroendocrinologist. Maybe you could get a brain MRI. Ron, I mean, you could look for reasons. Well, I'm not going to say the guy has schizophrenia or he has Parkinson's disease, but if you read about this stuff, you're going to see it's neurologic conditions in the central nervous system. But it's probably a red herring. Or maybe it's because of he's heavy or the test is wrong. But if your prolactin levels are elevated, that is definitely a issue that will drive down your sex drive. That's for sure.
Okay. Some strange questions from a strange guy, Michael Edwards. Just so you know, are you familiar with the movie American Psycho?
Yes.
He's always got his avatar is different scenes from that movie, the Patrick Bateman character with like a bloody face, or it's creepy. So anyway, his first question, no surprise, which anabolics are bad for psychopaths or criminals to use? I wouldn't think any anabolics would be good for a psychopath or a criminal, right?
Well, I'm letting you answer this part of the show.
Sure. Yeah, Michael, come on. If someone's a psychopath or a criminal, I don't think we want them having heightened aggression or hostility or rage or, you know.
Trend. Maybe not trend. I mean, I guess Anavar is better for him. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just straight up Deca. Throw some just go on estrogen. Well, that wouldn't be an anabolic, but yeah. Next question from him. Which anabolics change your thought pattern the most?
Awesome question.
Is there a real answer to that one? I don't even know.
Ron, I'll let you deal with these.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not aware of any that, like, is there one steroid that makes you like antisocial? And I don't know. I think they all can contribute towards if someone has underlying issues, personality problems, behavior problems. I think there's a lot of things that can exacerbate it. Alcohol, steroids.
Ron, you're good.
An asshole is going to be more of an asshole when he's drunk or he's on a big cycle of androgens, basically. You
know, Ron, just to kind of go out with that is like, it's an asshole on steroids. I mean, then you'll come to trend where everyone's going to be an asshole. So, Roy, come on, Ron.
And you put him on a contest diet. Woo.
And unfortunately, a little bit of some of the news stuff, like just to tie it into this. Unfortunately, some guy with PTSD shot up a bar in California last night.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, this is serious stuff. PTSD. So that guy had some demons. I mean, I hope he's not a steroid user to give a bad, rap to anyone that's using steroids, which is just disproportional. Most of these men are, let's call it what it is. They're young, angry, sick, white men.
Yeah.
They're not even black. They're just white. I'm just an observer. So we got problems with people with psychiatric issues, right?
Yeah.
We have an angry, just a diseased. It's just people are angry as fuck. Mm-hmm. And then you have mental health issues where now anyone doesn't want to even go near to even talking about it in the medical community, because if you have a gun or a job, you don't even want to have it taken. Right, Ron? We're screwed.
Sure.
So remember last week we talked about mental health issues?
Yes.
I had and I had that patient commit suicide 3 weeks ago, and now I have more. I have more patients. I'm seeing more mental health issues, Ron. I swear to God, Ron, it's a tough deal for everyone in this this country.
Do you think
What do we do about that?
do you think they're just opening up to you more and talking about it, being more open about it than they would have in the past?
They definitely, Ron, my accessibility is so great now, around the world. But these are Americans I'm talking about, but I work with a lot of non-Americans.
Yeah.
With Zoom and FaceTime, and not to mention Skype. The connection is so bad at Skype. I use Zoom and FaceTime. I pay for the iPhone. I might as well use FaceTime. It works phenomenal. I set it up. It's a cool little thing, and we talk to the guy. I talked to a guy from Canada today on FaceTime. Or somewhere, I think Canada. And Ron, it's so they're coming in, and they come in. They're either on steroids. They've used some. Sexual issues are always there. They trust me. Ron, I can't believe my life is so humble. It's so important now. We have so many guys, but I'm seeing it's like flavor of the month. I don't know. A lot of depression, even personality disorders, manic depression. That's bipolar. Straight up depression, where it's refractory, Ron. So it's refractory to 2 or 3 psychotropic drugs. Now, Ron, I have to work with psychiatrists all the time. I just got off the phone yesterday with a gentleman who's 20-something years old. He's in a rehab. He almost killed himself. Steroids and drugs, and I'm straightening out the steroid part for his brain, and he's doing so great. And they're dealing with he had bipolar depression, with lithium and other medicines and psychotropic drugs. And I'm talking to the psych docs. They brought him up, and now I talk to them. Ron, this is what I do. I micromanage all these guys, the sexual steroid testosterone part.
Yeah.
But Ron, I just, when I read this, the guys asking these questions, I mean, here we go. Look at the last one there. Look at number 3.
Yeah. What other anabolic besides testosterone would you be willing to risk your health? He's asking you this. This is for you. Risk your health with and take for a longer than normal period of time.
Wow. The guy's asking very philosophical questions that there's even I can't even answer. So what other anabolic besides testosterone would I be willing? I don't want to risk my health with anything more than just testosterone. Matter of fact, I think I'm not going to give any secrets out here that everyone knows. I take some testosterone. If someone manages me well, I kind of tell them what to do, right?
Yeah.
But I don't someone manages me, and then I micromanage my heart. And at 54, that's why I feel so great, is because my heart health is perfect, humbly stated, but I put energy into it. Yeah. I make blood pressure, cholesterol, metformin, prediabetes, cardiac, endothelial tissue. I use baby doses of these medicines and nitric oxide medicine. That's what I do. And guys join, this is what I do. That's what they come game on for.
Yeah.
So what other anabolic am I willing to risk my life? The answer is I don't even want to risk my life with even breathing air, because that oxidizes you.
That's true. Yeah.
How do you answer that, Ron? You answer that. How would you do it?
Well, for me, obviously my answer is going to be very, very different. I'm on a TRT dose at some points, and other points I would add in something like a DECA or an equipoise for 12, 16 weeks. Maybe that happens once or twice a year, theoretically. That helps me add the size. I don't think I'm honest. If I'm really being honest with myself, I haven't added any new size in many, many years. But it does seem to take a certain amount of extra goodies a couple times a year just to maintain the 225 fairly lean that I can maintain. Like I said, I'm not willing to, I know I'm sealing my own fate by saying this, but 200 milligrams of SIP a week, I know what I look like on that, and it's not a whole lot different from what I see in the mirror now, but I'm not happy with that. It's not enough for me. It's not enough. So I do a little extra to look a little better. I'm not willing to go beyond that, and insulin and GH and constantly being on 4 or 5 different things. I'm not going to do that. And, when I competed, the last few times I competed, maybe I'm going to get in trouble too for saying this, but pre-contest cycles for competitive bodybuilders, it's just so much. There's so many different drugs, such large amounts being used now, and I wasn't being conservative, but I wasn't being I wasn't going overboard, but it was a lot, and I didn't feel good, mentally or physically. Did not feel good. I competed in 2013. I did a couple national shows, and yeah, I mean, didn't feel like a good person. Didn't feel like I was being a good father to my kids. Wasn't really being a great husband. Wasn't even doing my job at 100% capacity. Being on all that stuff, it messes with you in many, many ways.
Ron, thank you for saying. Here's Ron Harris, who's a veteran. You look great, Ron. I mean, you're muscular as hell.
I know, right?
You look great. You obviously, you have some of the body dysmorphia. You could joke with yourself. Thank God you could joke. This is so important for guys. We have such a huge following. They're watching and they're like, they can identify with you. And why does Ron's obviously a smart man, but he's hedging the bet. He's checked his heart. He's healthy, but you still can't live on TRT. And you know what, Ron? You're not alone.
Yeah. I mean, my whole thing with getting my heart checked last year, was it this year? That was this year, right? Yeah, that was this year. I mean, 8 months ago. Had I seen more calcium in there, had I seen real warning signs, that would have been enough probably to convince me, okay, I could lose 10 to 20 pounds of mass and just be on 200 milligrams of SIP the rest of my life, as long as, because otherwise I'm not going to live, I'll probably be dead by 60, and I'm 49 now, that's not long enough for me to live, so that would have done it. But I'm being very honest, because the calcium score wasn't that bad, and the heart, everything looked pretty good, tiny bit of LVH, left ventricular hypertrophy. I'm like, okay, But you know what though, Ron? So many guys would freak out to have even that. I know. Well, you know what? To give you a little background, like I had a sister that passed away. She was an addict, and wow, I mean, my family, we must have very robust genetics, because she, by all rights, should have been dead maybe 20 years before that. The way she treated her body, she actually was pronounced dead 2 or 3 times clinically over the years, up until she finally really passed away. Kidney failure is how she eventually went, and it was liver failure, and so seeing that, I don't know, I probably have a false sense of security as to how much my body can take, but I did get all the testing done. So, Ron, I think if I can make a prediction, over the next couple of years, it's kind of like I don't want to say you come to your senses or you mature, but you don't give up. I don't ever want to give up, but you see me tearing the pack off. I'm benching tonight. I'm going to go up high. 405, baby. I'm going to, remember the doc in the end of the video? 500, baby. Boom. I'm telling you, I'm benching again tonight. I mean, like, I'm coming back up. So it's like I'll be benching once. I'm coming back. Now I'm in like the comeback trail. Yeah. I mean, so you never want to give up, guys. That's why guys love me. You see my trailer video of me benching the 505? Look on Instagram. I put my own little trailer video. Check out Instagram. When I was 47 a couple years ago, I put up my legitimate 505-pound pause benching competition with a bench press shirt on. A little shirt, wasn't a massive shirt. And just a light kind of 2-ply, super duper phenom, not a big deal. And only powdered, if you know what I'm saying. But at 198, I stopped 505 in my chest. I weighed less than 200, and I pressed 505, racked, and then I waited for the rack, and I racked it, and I jumped off the bench, and I was a little dizzy, but I felt good. Is that the footage that you were trying to shoot new footage for that? Yes. So you should have just used that old footage in the first place. Ron. You wouldn't have turned the back. We finally put it up, so the mountain biking is on there. Yeah. And that's me talking at one of my whiteboards, and then my guy goes, my web guy goes, he goes, Doc, just throw up the 505. You did it. Yeah. So it's cool, and he made it look like old school, but Ron, you know what? So this is what we do, man. We're not normal guys, Ron, but we're not alone. Yeah. Like, we want to be big and strong. I have this incredible niche where I'm blocking the cardiovascular and the adverse effects on the body. So I guess you can go to a little higher level you want to jump off of planes. If you want to, I have more guys coming in that are extreme skiers. They're extreme mountain bikers. I have guys that are enduro motocross. Ron, I got guys from Europe that are fucking enduro motocross guys. Yeah. Ron,
and they're not 25 anymore, but they're in their 40s, and they want to be on testosterone because they get better recovery, Ron.
Sure. The mortality rate for like extreme skiing has to be pretty high, I'm guessing.
See, that's the thing. Like the extreme, these are hella skiing. They get dropped off of hell in British Columbia and that whole province of. I have these guys now. I was talking to a guy in camp. I have these high-end extreme men that are 40s to 60s. Ron.
Yeah.
It's free, and so the steroid users. I mean, these guys just died. One of his friends, he told me, died in an avalanche in Utah. Like, hey, it's how it goes, bro.
Yeah.
So it's like, so these are like, so what's the difference between steroid users? I do agree with that, right, Ron?
Yeah, well, it's either, shave years off your life slowly because you're incurring damage to your heart, or you fall off a cliff when you're skiing somewhere in Vancouver. I don't know.
I mean, so we push, you see the video from Nat Geo of the free climbing guy? Ron.
No.
Ron, there's a guy that climbs, free climbing is, Ron?
Is that where you're upside down at some points?
Yeah, Ron, they're climbing fucking rock ledges that are ridiculously like this, and yes, like that.
No rope.
And, Ron, no ropes.
Oh, no, thank you.
Now, this is a high. So I'm not giving anything a blessing. That's a high. A lot of people do it, by the way. I think most people obviously are clipped in, but that's a high. And this is a bodybuilding, steroid using, powerlifting. It's a high also. Yeah. I'm trying to tease out the haters gonna hate from the politicians and from the douchebags, and saying, look, man, like there's really no theoretical difference with the high except for the drugs and it's a slow death, and I want to help heal these people.
Yeah. Okay, another thing I want to talk about, because you've had a couple you've contributed to a couple articles in Muscle and Fitness recently. About TRT and so on, and steroids. And they also publish Men's Health. AMI also publishes Men's Health. I'm in the bathroom. That's where I do most of my reading, of course. So, where else are you going to read? November 2018 issue of Men's Health, there was a feature toward the back called 30 Years of Life-Changing Advice, where they're basically giving themselves a pat on the back for all the great advice they've given out. And page 50, there's a little paragraph said, Junk Science. In October 2015 story, debunked testosterone replacement therapy, which was exploding. Reality check, anything between 280 and 1100 nanograms per deciliter is normal. While it's true that T generally rises through youth, peaks in midlife, and slowly declines, it's not clear how these levels affect us. Really, it's not clear? Unless your doc orders a test because of an underlying condition, there's no need to test your T. So, can you believe that? They debunked TRT with their little. They probably talked to like one doctor. I don't know.
Well, that's straight up pathetic.
Yeah.
That's abusive. That's anti-male, and that's written by a woman.
Oh, is that true? Was it?
It has to be.
Oh, I don't know if it was.
I'm kind of lost though. Maybe I was drifting off. Is this like saying that you shouldn't even check testosterone? It doesn't even matter.
Right, because. Well, it says it tells you what the range is, the normal range, and then they go on to say it's not clear how these levels affect us, which means I guess even if you have low levels, you shouldn't be concerned, according to this, unless your doctor orders a test because of an underlying condition.
It's Ron. That's hate. That's hateful, self-hating men, and a woman that just wants to control. I didn't you know that Muscle Fitness and all these journals. Do you know they're run by women? By Men's. Do you know Men's Health is run by women?
No, I did not.
Well, please look at the board. Please review. So, first of all, that's insane. That's unethical to say this. It's unfounded by research. Matter of fact, there's more men walking around that are suffering from low testosterone from a range of medical issues.
Yeah. That
need to be treated, not to mention psychiatric disease, that are going to suffer without. They need to hear this from this show. And I'm a Men's Health guy. Women's Health is great. And I love the Women's Health Center because I have a mother, I have a sweetheart that I love very much, and I have a daughter. So Women's Health is game on. Is there a goddamn man around that you love? we're just washed up, right, Ron?
Yeah, that's what I said. You got to work and then die. That's it.
And if you replace testosterone on a man that requires it and needs it, and you understand the risks and benefits, and if you replace it accurately and you monitor him and you watch out to make sure you don't have side effects like the way I do it, and you block the side effects with medicines and behavior and knowing how to do it, you have a phenomenal quality of life.
Yeah, but for them to say that they debunked their one little article debunked testosterone replacement therapy, meaning it's they that one article allegedly they don't have the whole article, so I have nothing to reference.
That's bull. That makes me angry. It's upsetting. It's aggressive, and it's ridiculous. And no doctor. How does one article or one jackass debunk anything? It doesn't even work that way.
And ironically, in that same issue, I'm flipping through the pages, and there's every few pages there's an article for some test booster type of product, like that crappy eugenics or whatever.
It's insulting, and first of all, men's health. I mean, I'm getting more and more popular, and I'm growing. I'm getting famous more. You know what? Sooner or later, they're going to ask me to write for them. I just may say, "Fuck you."
Well, you could do that, or you could say, "This is my chance to get the voice of reason in there and get some." True facts.
I just, again, the real stuff is this, the real stuff, and then Muscle Fitness has me in there here and there, which is just, who even cares? I don't think anyone, Ron, I just think what we're doing is so real, and it's just a great deal, but testosterone is so powerful. And even we're finding out that we don't even, I thought that question when I was just globally looking at it was that testosterone reference ranges they're becoming, by the Endocrine Society guys, they look at them, but you scratch your head sometimes and you wonder, why does a man come in to see me who said his levels were 400 and maybe his free was low normal in the lower quartile, and he takes testosterone himself, I didn't give it to him, and he comes in and he goes, "Doc, now can you continue it? I've been on it for 2 years and it looked like I shouldn't have responded, but doctor, I feel phenomenal." And what do they feel phenomenal about? Not muscle building, sex drive, and the mental clarity and the energy. And there are studies that normal men, normal testosterone, give them placebo versus testosterone, they get horny.
Yeah.
So, I guess we're lesser creatures, but we're pretty easy to make horny with testosterone, Ron.
Sure.
And we're not the brightest bulbs in the tree, us men, but that's pretty good for a lot of guys because they lose that. And again, you got to make sure you don't have other medical disease or psychiatric disease. I don't override medical disease and psychiatric disease. You have to diagnose it, reverse it, try to deal with it. And then in the end, if it looks like testosterone can help someone, you carefully monitor them. And it's the most unbelievable aphrodisiac in the world, Ron.
Yeah. For us bro science gym rats, the way we would sort of determine how strong these underground steroids that we're buying and using was sex drive. So if you're on a gram a week, something ridiculous, and yet your sex drive isn't up that much, there's the stuff you have is really underdosed. Which the scientists should get more interested in this. Yeah.
And that now we should take this data because we're easy to get horny. Men, and if men don't get horny on testosterone when you get the dose right, they have something unfortunately wrong with mood disorder. I figured it out. I mean, this is really, most men are pretty easy to fix up. They have low T, you reverse the medical issues, you find out what's wrong, you give them some testosterone. They, of course, have to have low numbers, they have to be treated, I have to watch them, and then they go, "Wow, doc, wow." And then it's sustainable. The men that I can't fix up, if they have low normal, whatever, it's not testosterone. It's because they have problems in the central nervous system, and it's depression, anxiety. It's really sad, Ron. It's sad, Ron.
Yeah.
But some of the testosterone can help that, and they say, "Doc, it does help me though. Either I'm on Zoloft or I'm on antidepressants or, anxiety. I have chronic anxiety or they have different psychiatric, but they're low grade." And then testosterone goes. So those medicines destroy sex drive, Ron.
Yeah.
So if you're on Lexapro, if you're on Prozac and Wellbutrin individually, the docs start to add Lamictal and they start to add different drugs. And I don't do that. It's crazy. It's complicated. But if I add testosterone with a psychiatrist, Ron, we can have great outcomes for these men.
That's what I was going to ask. I mean, I know a lot of these medications for depression, other psychiatric issues, they have a horrible effect on lowering the libido. But if you put a guy on a bit of testosterone, would that count? Does that usually counteract it?
It's case by case. It can. Okay. This is what, again, it has to be done by, this is not anti-aging. You have to work with, I have to work with real doctors, psychiatrists, cardiologists, primary care. And if they're willing to work with me, which most of them, the guys that come to me, they have doctors that are willing to work with me. And we all get along. Rod, that's all I do. That's all I'm on the phone all day long. It's beautiful. I work with some of these guys that have depression, and we have some great outcomes. And it's life-saving. And they don't always get off the psychiatric medicine. We do it together, but Jesus, you got to be careful, because if you get a guy with manic depression and then the androgen can turn on some mania, I mean, come on, guys, this is complicated stuff. But if you could have a guy who needs depression medicated, I almost want to say all the time, because the last month or so I have a lot of more of these patients coming in, which is just, it comes in, you say red cars, you see red cars, and you say blue cars, and you see blue cars. It's just a trend. I don't know, and I've been doing it for years, but for some recent reason, it's a lot of trend of these men with moderate to mild to moderate, one case severe depression, and they're on multiple drugs. The sex drive is just gone, and they have low T, low normal, and some cases, frankly, very low because they're older and they have diabetes. It's complicated. So we're working together and monitoring them, and it's incredible. It's a lot of work for me and for the docs, but these guys are feeling dramatically better because we're men. We have like a lower, we're just not that advanced compared to women. It seems in our brain, you give testosterone levels, like you said, the average bear gets horny.
Yeah. Now,
we have to learn from this somehow to cross over the aisle to give it to women. Women's brains are different. The limbic brain, the androgen receptors, Ron, they're different. But women, get horny on androgens.
Yes, absolutely, I know this.
But it's not. But Ron, it's not as simple. It doesn't make sense sometimes because it doesn't always hold on, right?
Well, I mean, the horniest women I've ever known, generally speaking, and I am generalizing. No, I mean they're women on steroids. Women on steroids they're like guys.
Crazy.
They look at guys the way we look at girls, like pieces of meat. But it's like, but what level requires it? Ron, my experience professionally is it just doesn't. It's not as simple. The men are just simple creatures. Oh yeah.
But it seems like the women, there's more moving parts, and if they require higher levels, they don't always hold it. And then if they require such high levels of androgen, the hair is coming off, the face is.
It's
right, Ron?
Yeah, it's unfortunately that's the flip side is the more androgens they use, the hornier they get, the more they start looking like dudes, and I like horny women, but I don't like horny women that look like men.
Ron!
It's all theoretical. I love my wife. This is all just theoretical. Okay, so I saved the best question for last, Doctor. This is the one that we're going to make into a separate video. I guarantee you. So we've touched on this before. When you use androgens for many years, your testicles sort of shrivel up.
Yep.
And you do not produce the same volume of semen that you did prior to your androgen abuse years. So, I watch a little bit of porn here and there, and I see here and there. Okay, it's
Ron, you are great. Ron.
It's almost every day. But some of these guys like the fountain at the Bellagio. They're just blasting out things like a quart. And I think I speak for a lot of juice heads out there when I ask you, what could we do? Is there anything? I've heard Clomid. Is there anything that you know of that will actually increase seminal volume?
I have this question every week or two. I get this question from my patients. So game on.
Yeah.
So let's review that. You got to go back to the basic medical science. Hypothalamus, pituitary, gonad axis. It's shut down even easily after years of even TRT. Your balls are shriveled. Tell me it's not true, Ron.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
Balls are shriveled. But then the chicks say, "Hey, you don't need those balls anymore. They get in the way anyway."
I say that. I always say that.
As long as the penis works in the brain, so the balls are shut down. You're obviously everything goes into a hibernation state. Your balls are breathing. Your seminal fluid, obviously, ejaculate is less. It's all over the board. So if you abstain for a couple of days, it builds up, right, Ron?
Yeah.
So, but you don't. Who wants to sustain? And the funny thing is, when you're horny as hell, you're having sex once, twice a day. So you're shooting blanks and you're shooting air, right? Shooting air. It does bother guys. So what can you do? Here's the deal. HCG. And the Clomid. I mean, Clomid's a weird drug. It's a selective estrogen receptor modulator. It's used great for women for fertility. For men that have used steroids, we've talked about it before. If you put them just steroid users, men with anabolic steroid-induced hypogonadism, or just men that have been exposed to androgens even a little bit, you put them on Clomid, they don't feel good. They look good on paper. That's that whole disparity between paper and the man. So but can that increase the seminal volume? I've seen every permutation combination to man. It does nothing. HCG is your boy.
Okay.
HCG is your boy. But if you do HCG, funny, and this is all underground, this is total great bro science.
Yeah.
If you do HCG, the paradox is if you do it and you ramp it up because you do build tolerance, it will work. But then at a certain point, I mean, it's like Rich Piana stuff. Hey guys, 5,000 IUs every other day, 5,000 a day, 7,500. I mean, yeah, Rich was saying, wow. I mean, even 10,000. So you're just on steroids then because you're forcing your balls to just blow completely. Those receptors, there's no question. We have animal studies on it, and you don't even need an animal study. Your balls will just max out, and then it will crash and burn, and you have to come off and reset. So I tell guys, dude, the truth is, you just have to, and every man's different. I just see popcorn and hear stories. Really? Doc, I do this. And then guys take magnesium and zinc, and they have the ball reload formulation with different amino acids. Yeah. It's bullshit. Yeah. In the end, your balls are shut down. They're atrophied. The seminal vesicles, things are just less productive. Obviously, you're shooting no semen, nothing. You're dusted, done. I have to get that. I do part of my job every day, including today, is trying to get the balls going for fertility. I have a connection very soon for HMG, but I think HCG. I work with real fertility experts, and HCG is the standard deal. 500 up to like 1,500 to 2,500. I never go more than that every other day because if you need more than that, we go to Brevell Overdrill, which are directly derivatives of LH and FSH. This is good science, guys. I worked literally last week. I was talking to the guys up at UConn. They're brilliant guys because we've got a guy that my HCG regimen just wasn't working. So I got to hand it off to the big boys. They don't know much more about steroids. They know really nothing about steroids, and they don't want to know about steroids. Yeah. But there's no rocket science. They just write for Brevell and Overdrill. Holy shit. But that's expensive stuff, but it seems like it works. I have more experience with it, and I could write for it too. It's not a controlled drug, but it's like $4,000. And if you want your insurance to cover it, those guys have to, they have to do the prior authorization. I could do it too. I do prior authorizations for cardiac disease. I'm in network with insurance companies, so I do it. And if your testosterone's low enough, I can get it paid for. Testosterone costs $100 for 3 months. No one cares. But if your insurance if you want to pay your copay, which you're with your deductible now could be, it doesn't even matter. They're not going to pay for it anyway. I've seen them approve things, and then it's like, okay, but your copay is too high anyways. Your copay. So it's like, thank God testosterone is dirt cheap, and HCG is dirt cheap too. So that's the whole. Is that the question? Did I answer the question?
Yeah. So your answer, you said HCG, but you said your body will acclimate to it fairly rapidly, and then
everyone knows it, Ron. Look at your own board. Look at look at MD forums, man. Look, guys, it's only one drug. Clomid's not going to work. It's not going to work. That's ridiculous. And tamoxifen, please, please, please.
You know, like you're not a Novadex fan.
But it's not going to cause your balls to go up. It's pissing in the wind isms.
Yeah. Okay.
Pissing in the sea, pissing in the ocean isms. It's useless. HCG is the only thing that works. What else is there, guys? I want someone to come on the show and give me a run for the money because I'm getting bored.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of anything legitimate. All I ever hear about are these stupid, crappy supplements called like ball refill.
Oh my! I love ball refill. First of all, that's garbage. It's garbage. I'm not a supplement guy. It's garbage.
Yeah,
Real drugs work.
Yeah,
and you know what? Don't use them then. But don't use steroids. Don't shut your balls down. If your balls are shut down, suck it up.
Well, you said HCG will get them.
HCG. So going on and off HCG is what guys do. And I've learned, again, you know where I get my data from? Apart from the urology guys, which agree with me, the patients themselves, Ron, after 10 years of doing it, the guys have told me, Doc, you need to do, guys, we do this and we come, and then at a certain point, Doc, you know what? You just kind of, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, this is not bullshit. This is a real world. Your ejaculate's going to be low, but you could have great sex.
Yeah. So you should probably time your HCG cycles around when you're going to be doing your porno shoots. And then you go off it when you're not doing your porno scenes.
Now, the porno guys, they do use like combinations of Clomid. First of all, the genetic.
Right.
Those guys just have these. Look, I've looked into it. I've even taken care of some porn stars in my day, and that's awesome. And they use HCG. They blast HCG and they just hold out for a couple of days. And they have genetics too for having these huge loads. Right. And then that's freaking what you see, bro.
Okay. There's also a lot of times they use a fake. There's like a tube on the underside, and you don't see it, and it's this fake semen that they're shooting out.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. I didn't know. Is that true? No,
that's true. I'm not saying in every instance, obviously, but a lot of times when all right, I'll say you can Google. Wow. You can Google fake cum shots.
Oh.
Just fake cum shot videos. Just if you're really bored one day,
and
you'll see like a gallon coming out of a guy or something ridiculous.
I've seen that crap. I always wonder what the hell that is.
Now you know. I've even seen that. I'm not a porn actor, so I don't need to buy one. But I've seen what the whole setup looks like. It's basically it's like a bulb and this and that. And yeah. So there are special effects involved sometimes.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Well, now this is a man's show, so I don't feel bad that we talked about that. This is relevant. It's all relevant. Well, there goes your poodles again.
They're my poodles. This is it.
All right, Doctor. Thank you so much. We covered a wide variety. What a gamut of questions we had this week.
Up here, buddy. That's the kids' home.
Keep these questions coming, guys. We like the wide variety. Dr. O'Connor loves a challenge. Loves to tackle these questions that no one's ever asked before of a medical doctor, and he's up for it. So you gotta love that.
Good day.
Okay, so let's remind everyone one more time: get your copy of America on Steroids at metabolicdoc.com or Amazon.com. Check out his YouTube videos. Just put in Anabolic Doc in the little bar on the YouTube search thing. All his videos will come up. He's putting out 1 or 2 videos a week. Is that right?
1 or 2 videos a week, and we're selling over 20 books a day on Amazon. It's just where the whole world's out there, Ron, and just definitely taking over, man. Things are going good.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Dr. Thomas, for everything that you do, as always. There's only one anabolic doc in the USA. So,
Dr. George.
Dr. George coming on strong.
I will give you Greece, maybe Europe.
Yeah, give him Greece and Albania. Let him have Albania. Maybe Macedonia. While we're at it. You can have that. That's fair. And Cyprus. We'll give him Cyprus. How's that? Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And definitely make sure to check out all the social media of Dr. Thomas O'Connor. We'll talk to you next time.